Hello again, Year 7. Firstly, thank you for sending in your pieces of work on life in the Middle Ages. I really enjoyed reading those, and you showed a really good understanding of the differences between life 600 years ago and today. Some of the best pieces of work really showed an understanding that life wasn't the same for everybody, for rich and poor, for town and country. Um, there were many different ways of being alive in the Middle Ages, just as there are today. Um, and I've given you a dirt task to complete on that work. If you want to start off today's lesson by completing that, if you haven't done it already, it should only take you about 5 or 10 minutes to complete that question. It's just something to get you thinking a little bit further. Um, as for today, we're starting a new inquiry. We're going to be learning about a hugely significant event, not just in England, but in the whole of Europe and across Asia and North Africa as well, the Black Death, the bubonic plague which came through the continent of Europe 1348, 1349, and led to millions of deaths. Obviously, um, with a pandemic happening in the world at the moment, lots of people are making comparisons between what's going on now and other times in the past. When we look back to the year 1348, 1349, it was a much more serious situation than we're in now. I know that we are in a very serious situation now, but this medieval pandemic was on an altogether different scale from anything we're experiencing now. In fact, some estimates say that 1/3 of the entire population of Europe died in this pandemic. It was the bubonic plague caused by a bacteria called Yersinia pestis. We're going to be learning about this over the next few lessons. And the first task for today, or the lesson title for today, is simply what was the Black Death? And you've basically got 3 tasks to complete. The first is to think about what you already know about medieval hygiene. I really enjoyed the sort of details lots of people included in their work on life in the Middle Ages about the sort of lack of hygiene compared to today's standards that there was. So the first thing is just to put a couple of bullet points. It's all explained on the sheet that's attached, but a couple of bullet points about what you already know about hygiene in the Middle Ages. The second thing you need to do is to read part of the sheet, which has got some information on it, and then to make a mind map about what caused the Black Death. I mentioned that bacteria are already, Yersinia pestis, that's where it actually came from, but what caused it to spread from person to person and person to animal, actually, in most cases, and then animal to person. And how did it arrive in England? It didn't start in England. Historians aren't 100% sure where it started. They think it started somewhere in Asia. But how did it reach England? There's a map task I want you to have a look at. There's a map which has got some details and some sort of colour coding showing different places where it arrived or didn't arrive. Weirdly, Poland didn't seem to be affected by the Black Death at all. I'm not really sure why. I need to look into that. It's quite an intriguing fact I've only just learnt by looking at that map. So, how did it arrive in England? Answer the questions there. So, you've got 3 main tasks. Bullet points about what you already know about medieval hygiene. Mind map about what caused the Black Death and what caused it to spread. And questions based on the map about how it arrived in England. They're all there on the sheet for you. If you find you run out of time because you did the dirt task first and you don't get on to the last bit, you know what, that's okay. Just do what you've got time for today. Enjoy finding out about this, and I'll see you again next week. Oh, you don't have to hand the work in, by the way, this week. Not to be marked. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Cheerio.